Good morning and welcome, Battery Hashers, back to my second channel. Today I have a rig that I picked up yesterday with a few issues. It won't turn on occasionally, and it needs tuning. It's not hashing. It's hashing about 23. It should be around 29.3-ish. I think that's about a stable hash for that rig. Now I think the actual problem is one, Ethos is corrupt, or two, the USB stick is corrupt. Now I do have a second USB stick here, so if it is the first one is corrupt, I can change it out. But basically this is going to be a live feed of me just going through my process, trying to get it working. It's probably not the process, but it's certainly my process, hacking through it, trying to remember all the stuff I've learned the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks of doing this. I will also have kids running, my kids running in and out, so we'll deal with that as well as it comes up. So let's get after this and see what we can do. First of all, we have to turn the rig on. So if we reach over here, where is the power button? Transition. So we turn the rig on. So we can see the fans fire up there. Now I do have one fan that is faulty on this rig, and this card is only, I think this rig's only 6 months old, so it really shouldn't be too long before it should go back under warranty, that card. There we go, it's firing up. I can see it at my end. Are we coming up here? Do we feel like working? Isn't that typical? The screen capture works all day, and then as soon as I want to go and do something else with screen capture, there we go. Look at that, now it's playing up again. Now this is what happens sometimes. I find this happens a lot when you have a faulty USB stick. And wifey just got home. So basically that is just going to sit there and probably do nothing. You can let it sit there for a little bit longer, see if it passes it. It doesn't look like it's gonna. Just gonna sit there. Rightio. So if that happens to you and it just gets stuck, South Carolina, good eye, Mike, welcome to this live feed. I've got a bloody fly on me. I feel like I've just walked into a spider web. So it is still stuck. So I have two options. I can turn the rig off again. I can turn the rig off again. And I just tested this off camera and it worked. Go figure. Yeah, so she's off, and of course you can't really see that because for some reason the screen capture doesn't grab it. Turn it back on again. Actually what I was going to do is change the USB port. It's almost definitely the USB stick that's faulty. Quite a bit of lag there on the screen. There we go. And of course I am running this through a capture card on my PC. Hey look, and this time it works. Go figure. Well no, it's gotten to this stage, doesn't mean it's actually worked. One more screen to go through. So this is a 6-card rig. They are Radeon 570 cards, 4GB. And we still have some problems by the look of that. No, we don't need that screen. Where's me chat, guys? I did bring it up. There we go. Chris, good morning. Marcelo, welcome. And we still have a problem. Kernel panic, not simping, attempting to kill. Okay, so that has got issues. So whilst we're waiting for that, what we'll do is we'll go back over here. So we transition back to me. So that's definitely not going to work. So the next thing we can try is try and rule out whether or not there's an actual fault with the USB stick itself. Okay, so I've held the power button in for 5 seconds, so I've turned that off. I'll grab the USB stick out. Now the USB stick's only 6 months old, but I find it's the biggest thing that goes wrong with rigs so far. I got a bunch of these when I first started, little tiny 16 gig USB sticks, and they're horrible. They overheat and they just don't work. The best ones that I found are these bigger Kingston Data Traveler USB 3 drives. They're the ones with the little clicky bit. I found them to be the best. Rightio, so if we have a look over here, if you go over to ethos.io, is it? Cancel, because that's already formatted. Move out of that. Are you mining on solar? No, I'm not mining on solar at the moment. This is all on grid. I haven't got the BatteryHasher thing completely sorted yet. Go figure. So display settings, nope. We want to view. Get rid of that. Rightio. Oh, I keep forgetting what I'm actually doing. Okay, so transition to that screen. Rightio. So we need Etcher, ETCHER, and we'll grab that. Oh, there we go. It's in there. Oh, it's on the other screen. Right. So we need Etcher. So we select. Now we've got it open twice. Select image. We want Ethos. Now I haven't had a chance to download it to the latest version. And you just click flash. That will send a new copy over. Now what I found is if the USB stick is faulty, this will fail. So we won't be able to actually finish this process. It'll just go nah. And just completely fail. Mr. Joe, welcome. Buy used SSDs, they're cheap. No, they are also they are also bad. I've got a used SSD there. I've got about 10 of them and they're all faulty. SSDs have a short life and they're a little bit more expensive. You can get an 8 gig USB stick for a couple of bucks. And even a good one's like 20 bucks, and even a cheap SSD 60 bucks in Australia. I don't know what that is like sort of in the other places in the world. Right, whilst that's doing that, I have set this one up already to test it. So I will throw that USB stick in and kick that over so it starts up. Go back over to there again. Okay, so that should be booting. As you can see with this, I don't know if you can see my mouse. You can't see my mouse. That card there is just struggling to actually start the fan. So it's 128 watts as it's turning on. Now, this should turn on properly. I've tried this about 5 times on this USB stick, so it should be fine. Takes a little bit of time to boot up. Now I did take this from 23 to 29.3 on Ethos. Of course, if I went to Windows, I could probably get that to 30 stable, but it also uses a little bit more power in Windows. And perhaps that is something that I could try for you in future and use this rig and go to Windows. So use Windows and Ethos for the same settings and see how much power and stuff we use. That is definitely an option. Okay, so that there is 10% flashed. Takes a little bit of time, unfortunately. You could make a clean good install and make a disk image that you can just write directly to the other USB stick. Well, that's basically what I'm doing now. I also have set up with, on Ethos, you can use the config maker. I have got so much stuff set up here. So you can actually use the configuration maker. So you can make the configuration files that look something like this. and then you can save them into the configuration maker. And of course I can't show you the one I use, because then you can change everything and it won't work, and then I've got to change everything. It's a bit silly if I did that. But that configuration manager actually allows you to globally tune all of the rigs with one configuration file. So that there is now booted up, and it's almost starting to hash once that actually refreshes for you guys. I find there is quite a bit of lag, and I often don't know whether or not there's lag with the screen capture software or it's crashed. I'm not terribly keen on it. I'm already seeing this hash, and that hasn't even changed screens. So we might just change that to demo and then change it back to that one. There we go. So I know this rig actually works. So we're coming up to 28.9 on one of them, and the rest of them should rise up fairly quickly. So 29.3. Now standard this was 23, but there was lots and lots of errors in his configuration file when he actually did it. So I'll run you through what I changed in the configuration file and how I got it from 23 to where it is today. So that said, this is still not a stable rig. I have not run it for 48 hours stable. The top card here, so this what is it, 01, keeps crashing out every now and again. So it is by no means 100% stable, but it is getting there. We are sort of starting to work it out. It did take me an hour last night to get it to that stage. So have a look over here. Transition. So it's 25% flashed. So it is getting there. Go back up to there again. Let's just see if that has crashed again or whether I have to change it. Wait until we see something change. 154, 2893. Okay, so that is updating still. That fan is still struggling, it's not kicking in. What was I doing when installing many rigs? A from Kazakhstan. Good day, Lee, welcome. Marcelo, it can't take care, I got to roll. Cheers, mate, thanks for tuning in. I've got to do some content on this channel, even though I don't get paid for it at all, which is almost nothing. I get like $10 per live feed, so I've got to pump this channel up. So even if you leave, if you want to hang around, that'd be if you want to just leave it running, it'd be much appreciated for the watch time or the watch hours, because I've got to get over 4,000 hours on this channel in order to get monetized, and 1,000 subscribers. But the subscribers won't be hard. They come thick and fast, but I've only got 300 hours of watch time so far, so I got some work ahead of me. Darren, hi from the Sunshine, looking to set up a rig, Sunny Coast. Awesome, dude. What do you think you're going to get? Okay, what? Okay, so that's rolling on okay. I think I actually changed this. VI space local dot conf, enter. Delete, so that crashed last time I was in it. Global memory. So if I change, I need to change that down to about 70 to stop that top one from crashing. Change that back. Actually, I'll leave that there. So :X enter reboot. So I'll reboot that rig again. I want to bring it down a little bit. If I can get it to 29 stable, I'll be happy, because I really want to work on the stability, not so much the outright speed. Now with this card, you can't see a mouse. No, because it's rebooting. With the card that is faulty, just here, what I should be doing is moving this card to this position, because then it's got the fresh air coming here. What I find is as you go down the rig, the last card is always the hottest because it keeps pushing the hair. Like there's less and less clean air. So if you've got a faulty fan or something like that, throw it on the outside on the first card, and that will help it cool. Joe, can I share my R9 giveaway video? You can, absolutely, man. I got nothing against sharing stuff. Give me a second, I'll add you as moderator so you can put a link. Rightio, Joe, you're a moderator, so you can actually throw a link up there now if you like. Yes, I will show all overclock settings, and I'll even show how I get to those overclock settings for you, because I think it's very important. You can all try and log into that, but it'll change in a second anyway, so it doesn't matter. Close window, that doesn't work anyway. Yeah, I'll show everything through the whole process, so you sort of see how I get there. One of the main ways I get there is by using just a simple Excel spreadsheet, and then realistically all that I do is I put the watts, and sometimes I forget that, and then you put the. I try and work out like the hash rate. So you sort of got to you still got to let it settle. So at the moment, so if we got, at the moment we say hash, and then you go mem, actually we want to go core then memory because that makes sense. So if my watts are currently, I think I've actually got that, I do, so 903, 908 watts. I sort of try and look at the highest wattage figure and the lowest wattage figure, but you've got to try and, it does bounce around. So we're going to say 900, would we say 905? 9, we might settle in between 9.5 and 9.10. So you go 910 watts. So the hash rate there is 28.93. We'll let that settle out for a minute. 28.9, maybe 28.95. Yeah, 28.95 looks pretty good. 28.95, and the core. So if we go over to here and then click the VI space local .conf config. So we got the core is 1230, and the memory is running at 2070. So what I'll do, and let's have a Johnny Hancock. So that's all I do. Just jot it down. There's nothing special about it. And then we go back to here. So we've got 57% flashing. Yeah, mate. Give me a second. I've got a customer. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Customer at the gate. I got everything open, so it looks like I'm open today, but I'm not. Okay, so that's 62% flashing. Let's go back to some questions. Joe's done a giveaway video. Go over and have a look at that later on. He's giving away an R9 270 video card. They will hash if you overclock them to about 12 or 13 megahashes. Try using lower heat range spark plug. Hey peeps, Koshan, welcome to BatteryHasher. So that has definitely settled down now. So we've got 28.9, so it's pretty good. So what I'd actually go and change now is these figures here. So once we've got it kind of where we want it, we got to play with things, and sometimes upping and downing the Globalcore can save you some power, but it might cost you some hashes. I haven't gone through and done the maths yet on power, because all my customers have got a fixed rate on power and they don't care. They want it to hash, so I haven't had much time to play with that yet. I am working on that side of things as well. What I have worked on is pretty average results. So if I go back over here, so we're going to change, let's change this by 10 megahashes. Of course, you can't use the keyboard. You can't use the mouse to position where the cursor is. So numlock, insert twice, and so we go to 20. So at that point, so we've got 2120, 1220, sorry. So you go escape on the keyboard, you go :X, enter, and then reboot. For R for reboot. And while that's rebooting, you would go back over here. 73% flashing, nice and fast. It's good to see Pete's got a fast computer. What do we got over here? No, we want that one. So it was still 910 watts. Oh, actually, we don't know what the watts is because it hasn't been rebooted. So we go 1220 and we go 2070, and then we check what the hash rate is. And once you keep going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, you can really you can sort of work it out where you need to be to get it to hash as fast as possible. That is still kicking on. Transition. Fan's still struggling to kick over. Before I return this rig later on today, I will definitely change those fan positions over. I believe he has another one in the rig that's faulty as well. Now these bloody fans are $50 each. They should never be $50 each, but it's supply and demand. Close window. Rightio. So let's have a look at the watts once that starts ramping up. You can actually see it before it even starts doing anything here. You can actually see up here the watts going up. So the watts are starting to ramp up, so it's starting to hash even though it's not actually indicated here yet. Let's go into 500. Of course, this is a 6-card rig. Using 910 watts is pretty good. My 5-card rig uses 830 watts, so that ain't bad. Rightio, it's ramping up nicely. So those watts should settle out pretty quickly. Nah, it should go up a little bit more than that. Remembering as the rig gets hotter, sometimes the fans start spinning a little bit faster, and it does use more power. So you do have to wait until it's kicked in properly. I'm kind of glad to be done with this. I love it. I love it. I'd do this over fixing a regular computer any day, because the client at the other end can really see the results and really loves to to get that extra sort of money in his pocket, I guess you'd say. So that's settling down. So the watts, so what we got? So we've got about the same watts. The watts haven't changed, so we're going to settle on 910 for the watts, I reckon. It may even be slightly more. It was going down to 905 earlier. What do you reckon? That's slightly more watts on average. And we got what, 28.91. So it went down slightly, so 28.91, so it was 28.95 before. That's a slight reduction, 28.91, 28.92. So what I would do in this case, if I could find which mouse to use, go VI local config, and if you hit the up key on the keyboard, it will actually, you don't have to type it back in again. So we took that down to 1220, so we might go 1240. Hit numlock and insert twice, and then so you go 1240, so that'll bump it up a little bit. Control escape colon X enter R enter, which now reboot the rig again. And of course you do actually have to reboot the rig, and this is one thing about actually using Windows rather than ethos. You can do sudo ethos hyphen overclock, but that'll only do the fans and stuff. You actually have to restart the rig to set all these new settings, I believe. Well, that's what I've learnt so far anyway. Right, yeah, let's go back to a chat so I can see what's being said. I'm kind of dead at work. I made a live one. TW, welcome, sir. I love doing it, just way too much time without regular 40-hour job too. Well, I got the 40-hour job as well, but I actually get paid to do this, which is even better. Okay, so that USB stick is validating, which is really, really good because we haven't had any problems with that as yet, which is nice. Okay, I will change to my ugly mug so I can do some off-screen stuff because I've got 3 screens, 3 cameras, and a screen capture. So I've got to make sure I don't show stuff I am not wanting to show. Audio, where is live rig repair? YouTube, let's get rid of that so I'm not watching that. Config maker, so I want to actually copy one of my other configuration files without actually showing you the hash. Copy, get rid of that. Right-o. Let's go back to scene, go main screen. So that's rebooted now, so that's just starting to hash, the watts are going up. Now, what I'm going to do is now we're going to go back to the other USB stick once that has finished. But I need to make a configuration file. So this is my configuration file. If you go to www.ethdistro.com/ is it ethdistro? Pool. There we go. That there is the standard configuration file. That there is the standard configuration file, and that is, I typed it in wrong. ethdistro. Cool. Righto, there we got it. That didn't take long, did it? So that is the standard configuration file from them. Now, if you use this out of the box, you will actually hash to their address. So you've got to change all that around. So I've already made a configuration file here that serves a lot of my my things that I do, I guess. In a week, I've got a lot of different tests and stuff I can do here with a couple of different pools. I can just comment them out, comment out what I don't want to use. So I'm using ethdistro. That is my Ethereum address, and we don't want any settings. So we're going to go through here and make sure everything is commented out. And we also want globalmem, no, COR, and globalmem. I think that's actually CORE. If we go back to this one, it'll tell me core, yep, CORE. Okay, so that is right. So basically now, one of the big changes is Claymore, Globalminer Claymore. What people don't do is change this set here. It's Globalminer Eth miner. If you change it to Globalcore Claymore, you'll actually get 1 megahash more from just that one simple change. I know it's hard to see between the two because they're so different, but that is definitely the change. Okay, so that has finished burning. And we've got Globalpowertune is 3. Standard is 4 or 5, and that doesn't work in my situation. And also the max GPU temperature is 85, so it'll actually shut the card down when it gets to 85. And I got the Globalfan is 85%. Now I'm going to start this at, so we're going to, what we can probably do actually is show you this. Now, when you're trying to do Ethos, you need a starting point, right? So if you go 4719A7.ethdistro.com, Ethos. Got to keep putting that OS in. OS. Right, this will bring up my current rigs, right? If I typed it in right. Wow, this is slow. Nah, I typed it in wrong. That will do it. E419A7. There we go. Now this one page here is really neat for working out where you have to be, right? Now we can see here, when I go transition, we've got the settings to, what is it, 1240 and 2070 for the global core and the global memory. So if you, and out of interest, we've got 28.99 on that card. So it actually went up a little bit. 28.99. So by going that global core a little bit higher, we actually got more hashes out of it. So we might, whilst I am doing the other thing, so if we go, how much watts have we got? We also used more power. So we go 920 on the, what do we got? That one, 920 on the watts, 28.9. And of course, some have just dropped back down a little bit. Oh, some have just gone 29. So we're going to go 28.99. And we use 1240 and we use 2070. So now what we're going to do is I might up that 1240 to 1260 and up that 20 to up the 2070 to 2100. So we go a bit of a big jump, but that big jump will help us work out where we need to be, and because we've got a good record of it, we can work out whether or not that's a good jump or not. So what we agree on 60, on 60, and when we go 0, 0, so that's a big jump. So escape colon X, escape colon X enter, and then reboot. So that rig is rebooting again. So hopefully we don't go over 920 watts and we can really push this a little bit harder. What have we got now? So we go back to screen 2, so transition. Okay, so what I was actually going to say before is under core and under memory here, you can actually hover over it. So it says 1.13, 1.14, so that's what it's actually saying on the cards themselves, as opposed to what I've told it to do. And if you have a look below it, it actually tells us what the originals were. So for some reason, some cards are doing 222 and others are just doing 2. Oh, actually, that's my rig. That's my personal rig. So this is the and that's different because I got 2 different memory types in there. So they're all the same, and that's the same. So you can use this to troubleshoot, or even as a starting point, because you still need a starting point when you start to tune it. So if you didn't have any settings in, so if you were just on this raw configuration file and you had the global core and the global memory commented out, you could actually see what those settings were and actually work out a starting point. Global core, so global core, I'm going to start this at 1100, and global memory, if we go back over to here and go memory, so 175, so we'll go 1800 on that one. So that's a good starting point. That's not going to crash. Let's double check that one. That one's 2.4, so we might just go 2 on that one to go 1200. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there and say that the global core should be half of the global memory, but I find that to be completely inaccurate. Rightio, now what we do now is we go save changes. Now after we save changes, it will give us a hash. Okay, so you will be able to go in and change this configuration file because I'm sharing it. However, it's not going to matter because it's not going to be there very long, and I'll change it as soon as I go off camera anyway. So what we do is we go save changes, and this gives us a hidden hash number. Now that you don't lose that hash number because that becomes the URL up here, which you bookmark. And this one here is what you actually store in your settings on the rig. So what we're going to do next is you have to go over to, and I'll do this on this rig, that way I can just sort of rip into it on the next USB stick. So that's come on, so that's using 940 watts. So I would hope to see 29.5 megahashes per card for that sort of wattage. So we are going up in wattage quite quickly, and we're not really well, we're increasing the wattage, but we're also increasing the hash rate, which is good. Okay, so if that's gone 24.46 across the board, something has failed. That's gone back to a standard configuration with Claymore installed. So that something has happened within the configuration file. So that is what, at least it's running, but that is not ideal. So if we go back to VI local config, and I just realized you could hardly see the local config. So I'm doing VI local config, enter. See, I've done Globalfan 95, Globalcore, and the other one's missing. Don't you love that? This is probably because I hit something different before. So GLO, no, I got to hit insert, GLOBALMEM space, and now because we had everything written down, we go to the config, no, we go to that one. So we wanted to go to 2100 on that one. I've got to keep remembering to keep flicking the screens around for you. I need one of those buttons where I can do keyboard shortcuts. So what did we agree on? 2100 for that one. And of course you've got to hit the numlock key every single time. Escape. Colon X, enter, R, enter. That'll reboot the rig again. So this will be the last time I reboot this rig on that card, on that USB stick. Now we've got to try this other USB stick and make sure it's not faulty. I still think it is faulty, but usually it actually fails when we're doing the, and you can't even see that rebooting. Come on. Update your rotten thing. The rig's already rebooted. It seems to freeze as it's going through that process. So this one here is complete. Now I haven't worked out how within Windows to edit this file and put this configuration file on there. There must be a way of doing it. You can definitely remote into the computer using TeamViewer or something like that. But of course I keep turning TeamViewer off for safety reasons, and I don't configure, so every time it reboots, the TeamViewer stuff changes anyway. So what have we got over here? Format disk, cancel, get rid of that. Okay, that's booting back up again. It's interesting that the rig used more power, hashing less, when we did when I messed up that configuration file. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Let's close it down so it doesn't exist. Rightio. We just check that, so we can go back to that. If you hit the up key on the keyboard, it will just flick through all of the menus and stuff. So VI local config, that's the ones that you've typed in at any rate. So that's all right now. So we haven't, oh, there we go. It's just starting to hash and the watts have come up. So that's good. See if it's under 940 this time. What do you reckon? Right, while that's booting up, I'll go back to the chat and see if I can catch up with chat. Great. If you find out which script does the starting of the miners, you can stop the script. Usually in accept. Okay, yeah, I probably could, but I want to keep this fairly other variation. You like Koshan, you can do sudo space ethos hyphen overclock, but it doesn't reset all the settings. It just does some. So I used to mod SP1s and the first Xboxes to kill the boredom of working on customers' computers. I know how you feel. It's always nice to be challenged. Absolutely. Second UPN has a speed issue. Yes, the second fan has not got a speed issue. It has got a faulty issue. I'm still doing my no budget mining using 4 ancient and speed, but they are working. That's fine as long as you've got free power. The problem with older gear is that rapes your power bill. Absolutely destroys it. Okay, so we've got that back up again. It's doing 28 by the look of it. So we went from 28.99 down rather than up, and with a watts figure substantially higher. So that was a bad move. So now we need to take that Globalcore. So we took that from 1240 to 1260, and we got some good result. 1240 to 1260. 1240 was good results. Global memory should make it go faster. Global memory going up always helps. Global core you've got to play with. So let's call it on that one, so we know what we're going to go. But I think on the next one we'll go back to 1200. If we go back to 1200, I think that's where we need to be with the core, and we'll see what we get. So what watts did we get? We got 974 with that, which is huge. We don't want that. We'd be better off going back to that, probably the first one that we did. 28. So that was 28.90, I guess. They're all different, which means there's serious problems with stability, because they're all over the place. I'd like to see them all nice and close. Oh, no, they just all went nice and close then. Rightio, let's go back to Ethos, main screen, transition. Nope, that one. Let's have a look at my ugly mug. Right, now we close it down, so we've got to shut the rig down. You can shut the rig down by pressing the button once on the little power buttony thing, on the computer power buttony thing. We'll get that out. Where is it? So the newly configured USB stick we'll throw over. And I need some water. Rightio. No signal input. Yeah, take my USB stick out and plug the customers in. And plug the customers in. And plug the customers in. Right now it went in. Okay, press the power button again. Get that cracking. Of course, it still remembers the last state. Come on, refresh. Geez, that card is really struggling. Look at it. That fan. Rightio. What do you got? I think if I change that and then change that back. Okay. There we go. Transition, that's actually booting up now. Now this will be a completely stock state of affairs. Now we go back to the configuration maker, and we've got to type in Control A, copy. So, nope, that didn't work. So what I want to do, I want to take this back to standard. So we go what the three big things that I change here is Claymore, Globalminer, and Globalcore and Global Memory. So if we save those changes here, Control A, copy. Right, now what we've got to do is we've got to copy this address over to the miner. So if we go over to the main screen, transition, that is still booting up. No, that is booted up on my end. Are you going to catch up over here, or do I need to change you again? I don't know how to do a refresh. There we go. I manually had to actually refresh that. Now at this point, this is completely stock standard. So what we'll find is these should come on in order. So when it's stock standard, it usually goes from the top to the bottom and starts hashing. It's very weird. Well, as soon as you start overclocking it, it starts doing weird shit. And you know, the bottom one could start first. So that is standard. So we got 22, 23 megahashes. Well, it's probably 23.2 megahashes is standard, right? Now, of course, this is not hashing to my address or my customer's address. This is hashing to ethdistro's address. So basically, what we've got to do now is we've got to go. Now, because I haven't typed anything in, I can't do the arrow tricks. I've got vi remote.config or conf, enter. Right, at the moment you've got ethdistro pool.txt, so we actually want to remove that out, and then that makes it into a local configuration file rather than a remote. But I actually want the remote configuration file, so I've got to hit insert, so https://configmaker.com worthamedandoo.txt. Right, now what that does, we go enter, okay, escape :x enter. Now if we go vi/local local.conf enter. Now what we've got here is we've got the standard configuration file with the proxy wallet that is theirs, not mine. So we want to stop hashing under their name. So we got some very big inconsistencies with all this. We've got one doing 13, so 125.6 megahashes in total. I might just put that over here so I don't forget. 125.6, well that'll do, as standard. Right, now if we go exit out of that, so we escape :x enter. So escape X enter. Right. Now we want to reboot the rig again. Now rebooting the rig will pull the settings that we have just put in over here. Transition in this configuration maker. So we've used this name here. If I've typed it correctly, it will work. If I have not typed it correctly, something will break. So that is rebooting. And if I actually use the right mouse, this gets a lot easier. Transition. I need a refresh button because that is rebooted already and it's still not coming up on that screen. Oh, there we go. Now you want to work. Doing the screen capture for this is way better than trying to do it with a web camera on the second computer with a HDMI card. Rightio. So the rig uses 120 watts just turning on. Just turning on. There's nothing worse than seeing that little light. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Right, we want to check whether or not this is working. So we've got to go VI space local local.conf, enter. Okay, so now we've got blue and white. So it actually changed the configuration file to my configuration file. So now we're actually hashing under, and you can't see that. Oh, come on, Pete. There we go, transition. So now we're hashing underneath my Ethereum address, my wallet address, which is what we want. And of course I use ethdistro. Rightio. That's going to just start hashing away normally. So if we take, that's still going to hash at, what have we got? Looking over here, so 125-ish megahashes over the whole rig. So if we take out, let's just do, take out Claymore. Now, when that's standard, that's not actually Claymore, it's something else, I can't remember the name, but you've got to change it, Globalminer to Claymore. So 125, so we want to see that go up to about 131 when we do Claymore. So if we escape out of that, go :X enter, and then go reboot again, because there's no use actually rebooting that all the way back up. There's no use not rebooting it all back up. You know what I mean. So that's rebooting back into the BIOS. Of course, it's just got the cheapest Celeron processor it could put in there. One of the benefits to using Windows too is you can actually do GPU mining as well at the same time. However, it does slow your hash rate down a little bit. So it's good that actually reloading this USB stick has helped it. I wonder if they got some power cuts or something and they weren't actually turning the rigs off properly that killed the cards, which is completely possible. Rightio, while that is booting back up again, I will grab my water and have a drink and try and have a look at the chat. Why the fan directed the power through a resistor to slow it down a bit? It's the fan itself has failed, Lee. The GPU is the one in the rig Peter's working on. Just trying to call to Pete's attention. He has a fan with issue. Yes, I know I've got a fan with an issue. You can use Notepad Plus to format file integrity, Windows path. Yes. You can't do that configuration file in Notepad. You have to use Notepad Plus to actually get that to work. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It freaks when it changes the res. What are you running? Old stuff Dell that happens to have 4 PCI ports. Whole thing only powered by 2. Holy, 200 watt power supply? How does that even work? Minus start, minus stop. I used to try doing that, but I found it still didn't work. It didn't actually put all the new settings in. I will try that this time again. I haven't tried it since the early days. You know what I just did? What I did wrong was I rebooted the rig without, you've got to change vi/remote, remote.conf, enter. You've got to take out, what's on, baby?
I have to run out to Rebel, but I have to spend money online.
On what?
I need to go to Rebel.
And spend money on?
I need to get some more long kit pads. I've only got one set and I've got like 6 clients on Monday. And I can't use one set of pads because it's bruising up my hands.
Okay. Well,
I was looking on Punch.
Yep.
And I was just going to get a couple of big shields off Punch, which I probably should.
Yeah.
But they're $275 for 2, which is okay. Because I'm looking at almost $100 out at Rebel. But I need it by Monday. And I'm not going to have them by Monday.
Just go take that and just go. Just go and do it. Wifey's got to spend money for her gym stuff. We're sorry for this interruption. I'm on the new channel, not the old channel, so I've only got like 5 people watching.
I'm thinking I might just order some off
Punch as well.
Punch, because I want the big proper shields, because they're going to be so much better for the clients as well to hold.
Sure, go and spend money, I don't care.
I will. I didn't want to, I've been umming and ahhing all morning about it, but...
That's alright, babe.
I never need to.
Yep. Okay, sorry, back to you guys. Rightio, we got to this configuration file over here. Now what you've got to do is you have to comment it out. So you have to comment it out. So insert, and then you've got to put the comment there. Escape, :X, enter, and then vi/local al.conf, enter. And see what happens is Globalminer Claymore is commented out again. So it every time you reboot it, it pulls it from the internet. Sorry? Just do whatever you control the money. You sort it out. Just sort it out, babe. Get what you need to get. It's all good. You need it for your business. So you've got to comment it out. So now I've got to go back down here again and delete this out, and I just wasted a whole heap of time. Escape, :X, enter, and then, oh, I was going to do the reboot command. I was going to do the -start, the -stop. Damn it! I'm fairly sure that won't actually change that configuration file though, because the configuration file's got to pull off the net. I don't know, maybe. I'll try it next time. It'll be definitely worth trying that. So, man, the chat's not that busy, which really helps. I'm sorry, I'm not really tuning into the chat very much, and I'm talking a whole heap. This will be more prominent for when we're down the track, and other people are watching it. So if I maintain the flow of it, it'll be good. Rightio, so I am just cleaning up over here. That is now rebooting. What do we got? I wish money convo with my wife was that easy. The money conversation with her is simple. I spend too much on my business, and she doesn't spend enough on hers. So she needs to invest and build and grow. She's still in the growth stage where I've been doing this for 17 years. I don't really, I spend money, I don't use it. She uses money because she needs to use it. So there's a big difference. Almost all commands are control minus and then shows a list at the bottom of the screen. Yes, but I'm not very good with that sort of stuff, and I'm not a Linux person either. I've never used Linux until this, really. vi local.conf, enter. Okay, so now, and of course I didn't show you that transition. We are just starting to hash again. So we've taken Claymore out. So now this will let this run all the way up and have a look what it's using standard with Claymore. And I should have looked at the watts, what it was using standard. I think it was not horrible actually. I think around the 850 mark. So that is beginning to hash. I think I said before I'd like to see this 13.5 or maybe even 14 mega hashes per card. Or 24, sorry, 24. And that's with Claymore. Having a drink. Starting to ramp up slowly. I also find, there we go, 24.5 with Claymore. So even if you can't tune it, and you can just change that Globalminer to Claymore and uncomment it, that would be a fantastic advantage for your rig. That gives you 6 mega hashes more over your entire rig, which is brilliant. So we had 125.6 before standard. We'll let that ramp all the way up. There we go. That bottom card has got some problems. 54 degrees. 23.95. It's coming up as well. Come on, can we get all 24.2? 24.2, come on. Look, that's close enough, I reckon. So it's only saying 126 down the bottom, so 1 or 2 more refreshes and we'll get the hashes up. A little bit higher. There we go, 144.9, 145 mega hashes. So either I didn't work it out properly or my maths is wrong, which is completely probable. So it's using 770. So we'll note that over here in the 770 in the watts. And that's Claymore only. And then we got 145 mega hashes. So no Claymore. Was 125.6. Righty-o, that is awesome. So that is fairly stable on, let's say, 24.2. Would we, all 10 of us, agree that are in the chat? Transition. Right. Now we go, we don't actually want to see my ugly mug, we want to see that screen, so we'll go back to that again. So now we go over to here again, and we want to remove the comments here. Delete, delete. Now I am going to go escape, :X enter. No, mine stop, M-I-N-E-S-T-O-P. Right, that should stop the miner, which should drop the watts, which it did. Now mine start. No, miner automatically started again. I think it does automatically restart. So we'll have to see if the watts go back up in order to see if it starts again, I guess. That'll be the kicker. There we go. Miner's active. Now you've got the same screen as I have. I don't know why it went to 20.43, 15. Maybe it's got to drop down and then go back up again, perhaps. What's happening? Now this is just a test with the mine stop command that Koshan gave me. I honestly think that is just lag. I reckon that's already stopped and then restarted again. It's just showing it as dropping down. Or maybe I do need to actually type in mine start. No, it's doing the watts. So the watts have come up, but the watts are still 770, so the watts haven't changed. So that is not hashing at the right rate. That looks really weird to me. I think I'd just rather reboot the bloody rig. Is it going up or down? 23. Some are going back up again, I guess. The watts is still 770. So mine stop and mine start doesn't appear as if it will do what we need it to do. So that's 24.26. So number 5. is back up to, so it only stops the rig, it doesn't restart it. So if we want to do a test, if we do ETHOS, no, SUDO space ETHOS hyphen OVERCLOCK. So that's back to 24 on each one again. So that mine stop didn't work and mine start automatically restarted. So I'm going to try sudo ethos overclock. Now that, as far as I know, only does the fans. It doesn't do anything else. MINESTART. The miner's already active. So do we try mine stop again after doing... No, it's still going to be quicker just to reboot. I definitely think that doesn't work. I think a high number of count. Okay, 0 count. There we go. I should go back to this one, so transition, so people can see the chat happening. It's possible it has to wait for the chrono job to kick in to do the mine start. So that does take a while, and that looks like a scheduled task within Windows. If that's the case, it's still quicker just to do a reboot command and reboot the whole rig. So that definitely hasn't worked. So I'm just going to go for the reboot. I've decided again for the second time that that doesn't work. Well, that sun's really cranking. The sun just come out real hard. Transition. Batteries are just starting to get some charge into them. Took out 200 amp hours last night. Oh, that reminds me, 51 and 52. I gotta get in the battery check. Give me 2 seconds. But I'm back. I really should try and stop doing all these other little things within live feeds, but it's a requirement because I had 54 and 55 had a external load on them, so they would drop down in voltage a little bit more and be more balanced. But got back up to the shed. Transition, it's all 0. The miner's commanded to start. We go BI local just to check it. Once I've done anything, I always go back into this configuration file and check it, because sometimes it just goes south for no apparent reason. So we got 800 watts. Oh, we want to get some massive hash rate out of that. 820. No, what were we doing? We're doing, now this is why I have a little spreadsheet. Oh, we're doing 920 last time, 910. So I took the Globalcore down quite a lot. Actually, no, they're both down, because these are standard settings. Or around or about standard settings anyway. So we got 23.5. So we want to actually go now to where we were with the other settings. So we're going to 2100 here. So you got to go down. Got to hit numlock and insert twice, and we'll change that to 2100. Okay, so we were before 1240 and 2070. Now I'm going to do 1200 and 2100 and see how we go for hashes. So that's only slightly better, 149, 150 megahashes. So we go escape, :X enter, and then reboot again. And this should bring us back to where we were with the other memory card. This is exactly where we need to be. So it does take a while. Try doing the commands back to back instead of waiting. I'll try that next time. Hey Pete, the Stream Deck is at Dell.com. Can you give me... What is it? Stream Deck is $139 at Dell.com. I can give you one of my employee discounts, 70%, if you want to stack with coupons and make your transitions easier. That'd be cool. I don't know what you mean, but it'd be cool. I think you can get for I'm fairly sure for Ethos you can get like a little box and you can just click it, whereas at the moment I've got to move the mouse, I've got to find which bloody screen it's on, because I've got a screen here, I've got a screen here, I've got a screen here, I've got a camera there, I've got a camera up there, and then I've got a camera down there. And then oh, anyways, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so that's that is kicked back in. Transition. Rightio. While we're waiting, vi/local.co and enter. Okay, so all those settings stuck, which is what I want to see. It's a device for controlling the software, OBS software. That's, yes, definitely. Stream Deck. Definitely keen on that sort of an idea. This channel is going to be lots and lots of this sort of thing, where I sort of show you my process of trying to work it out in my own head, rather than trying to do it off camera and then make it all look sexy. I want to make it look real, and some people are like that, and some people get bored to death. But it's kind of cool, I thought. Okay, so what is that at? That's at 900 watts. So that is cracking on good. Now I want a nice stable overclock. I don't want to just absolutely smash it. I am a little bit worried about that fan. I might actually change that fan. Yeah, see, the thing is, the fans are set at 85%, but these fans seem to fail pretty quickly from what I'm seeing. So maybe I need to slow the fans down a little bit more. It depends on where we're actually at. Okay, so we got 20, we got a couple of 29s there already, which is where I thought we would be. 29.36, 29.33. Awesome. That is pretty bloody cool. Now what I probably should do at this point is take a photo of that and send it to the owner of the rig so he can see what's happening. One thing that really concerns me is that one with the faulty fan is up to 63 degrees. Now the client does have an air conditioner on his rig facing from the top down. So I honestly think if I took that card out of where it is, oh, that's mint. 29, 29, 29, 29, 28, 29, 29. Awesome. So that is cracking at 175. So standard it was doing 125. So that's 50 megahashes more. Is that right? Did I just do maths in my head? 75, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 50 megahashes more on a rig. That is almost like 2 standard cards more for the same price. And now we're using, okay, let's fill out my little form over here. We're using in watts, we're using 912 watts. I think it just went up to 913. Hashing at 29.34. 5. What do we got? 1200, and then 2100. Now this doesn't mean it is stable, but who thinks we should stop this live feed, or who thinks we should crack on and try and get 30, even if it's unstable? There's a guy that showed a video where he made one of those himself. He custom made the PCB, has 8 buttons on it. Simultaneous keyboard input cost him like 20 bucks total. That's pretty cool. That's very neat. I might have to have a look at it. I should save that. Elgato Stream Deck. I should see if I can go and purchase one of those. I got to run. If you want my Dell employee discount coupon after you have a chance, look at. Absolutely, man. I will do something. I'll Google it and see where I can find it, and I like supporting other people with their codes and stuff as well. Pete doesn't have me as a modder, so I can't. Oh well, why don't you just ask? Oh wait a minute, you did. Okay, TWC I'm just going to call you Sam. All good. Right. I think I'm going to try it, and I was going to try to push this harder, but it is dropping down a little bit. So let's make a few little changes. Let's go global memory 20 more. 20, escape. So we got 29.35. Yep. Okay, so there's 20 more on that one. Escape, X enter, reboot. Rightio, that is going in for reboot, transition. Rightio. I don't get, oh cool, okay, that's awesome. Cool, Shan, I have to copy and paste that. Copy. Rightio, go to my little notepaddy thing that I have on every job. Show. Oh, there we go, I see it now. Rightio. Travis, I will never remember that. TW computer service Trans Am the car. There you go. Do you drive a Trans Am to your on sites? That'd kind of look neat. Rightio, where are we at? How long have I been on for? Hour and 17 minutes. Too long. Let's try and get this overclock sorted so it finishes working. And that is just booting up. There we go. Transition back. VI local config. All the settings are right. I honestly don't think we're going to get this to 30. If we get this to 30, I will have to wind it back anyway, because it's never going to be stable at 30. It will never be stable at 30. So we got power 600, so it is getting on. We're still doing Ethos or 1.2.7 as well. I don't do much side work since I started at Dell another 7 years ago. It'd be good for a consistent income working for somebody else, that's for sure. Me and my wife are both self-employed, so it makes it very, very difficult sometimes. 1978, best year. I'm not really into Trans Ams. I know what they look like, but that's about it. Seen them on Fast and Loud a few times. Smokey and the Bandit type stuff, isn't it? I think. Rightio. Come on. Why haven't we got two cards kicking in? 2 cards have failed to start, which means 2 cards have crashed. Or I'm being impatient. So we're not going to be able to go to 2120. That is too high. Did we ever go? No, we never went to 2120 before. 1977, there you go. So we go in 2120. It's go 29.53 on some cards, but 2 haven't started, so that is a bad thing. So we just put crash. Yes, crash on there, 2120. We've got 1200. We'll do 29.50. We'll just record. Actually, the recording the watts isn't going to work because we've got 2 cards down, so that's useless. Okay, so so not available on the actual that. Minus that out. Rightio. Now we've got to go back. So we might go back to something that we know. Insert 00, so 2100. And we might go 1175 or 80. So we go 1180 and 21. And see if we get some lower watts. Because taking the Globalcore down reduces the watts. So escape, :X, enter, reboot. There is nobody that's going to rewatch this to learn this process. Oh, I don't know. Maybe they might. I don't know. And I'm looking straight at the camera and I'm pointing like this, thinking that you can see me, but you can't. Enjoy the live feed, Pete. Catch you later. Thank you very much, Travis. Thanks for joining in. Knight Rider, Smoking the Bandit and Knight Rider. That's it. Michael Knight. Kit's the word. Rightio. So this is, if you are watching this later on, transition, basically what I am doing is just recording all of the settings that I'm doing and trying to work out watts versus hash. And then if I record it all down and write it all down, I got a good idea on what I need to do on the next round of stuff, I guess you would say. So if we go back up to here as well, we can also see in here, it's actually telling me one needs updating to 1.2.9, which takes a bit of time. Actually, when I get through with this process, and I think I'm pretty much there now, I should update the miner to 1.2.7 and see if it hashes any faster, with the new miner updates as well. So that's saying it's going in for a reboot as by that little reboot symbol. And you can see it's 0.3 on the core and on the memory, which means it hasn't started doing any work yet, so to speak. The temperatures are sort of getting up there. We've got no hashes, volts. And with the temperature too, you can also click on the temperature and it brings up a graph on a new page, and each card has a different color and you can work out which one's the hottest and which one's the coldest. So the green card is not real good. It's definitely getting up there, and if you hover over it, it'll actually tell you GPU 4, GPU 1. Oh, there we go. You can actually click on it and take them out. So you only got the one there. That's clever. I didn't realize you could do that. That way you can just see the temperature of each one individually. Rightio, go back. Rig admin, it actually gives you some settings and stuff there. Hovering over stuff gives you more information, and if it doesn't turn to an arrow, it doesn't tell you any more information. You can also go in the RX and TX. If you've got heaps of data transferring RX and TX, it means your rig's probably been hacked. Transition. So there we go, we're going back on. Still can't get those first 2 cards to kick in yet, which is a little troubling. 3 cards that won't kick in. So I think we've found the limits of what we need to be actually trying to achieve here. And over 29, I think we're going to have to wind it back to 29 and leave it there, because that is not working. So our last working was, we got VI config 2100. So I think we're going to have to go back to 2100, and we're going to have to go forward on this a little bit, not back, to get, you hate that. I keep using the mouse to locate where I am on the screen. So I might go 21. Might go 2120 on the Globalcore. And that pushes up a little bit. So escape, control, exit. Okay, now if I actually just press this button, because I want to shut the rig down and leave it shut down for a minute to try and bring those other cards back online again. Actually shut it down, wait for the do the old, somebody a long time ago called it removing the static from it, but I can turn it off at the power point and hold the power button in. Come on, get rid of all the power in the board. The LEDs are still flashing. Wait until the motherboard LEDs stop flashing. I think you can just see it pulsing just down the bottom there. And once all the power's gone from the rig, come on. Why you have LEDs in a motherboard breathing, I don't know. It's just completely beyond me. It makes no sense to me at all. I guess in a gaming computer it would, but not in a rig. Come on, we want all the power gone, please. There we go. Now all the power's gone. We'll turn it back on again. Kick the rig back in. Let's see where we are at now. Let's have a look at the chat so I can have a chat to you while that's rebooting. As long as the temp sensor is working correctly, yes, I understand that for the temp displays, but at least even if it's not working correctly, it still gives you a ballpark. So after all this, you should be able to clone the USB drive and just change the crypto address on new cards. Sort of a template. Yeah, I don't even need to do that. I can just do. I can just set up the little thing that I set up over here. Scene 2, go transition. So this here, which will never get used again, this configuration file, I can just change that configuration file to whatever I need, and it'll automatically push it to each rig. And if I use the configurations here, I can actually tell each rig to do something different. So what I'll do at the end of the day, I'll go through, and I've got 6 rigs to tune, so I'll just change this one word here, which is the name of each rig, and I'll have all 6 rigs in one configuration file. So for one client, he can ring me up and say one card's crashing. He can tell me the card on the rig with an identifier, and then I can just go through and change it here, and reboots the rig, and it's all done. Which is a security risk for him, but it is in my best interest not to rip him off, because of course ripping him off would be bad for business, because I could go through and change his Ethereum address. Rightio, we wait for that to start, and while we're waiting for that to start, we'll check the VI local config. Okay, so that is done. Have we got power? The power's coming up. There we go. So the top 2 cards come on this time. Sometimes when the cards crash like that, just doing a reboot command isn't enough. You've got to actually shut the entire rig down and start again. And in fact, it's probably best practice to do that every single time anyway. Okay, so this is now, I've given up on going to 30 megahashes. I am going to settle for 29. So I'm going to start winding it back a little bit and see if I can get the stability up and the hashes down a little bit. So the power is running at 909 watts, which is about where we were when we started, 910 watts. That's fantastic. We got 29.4 on the first card. We're starting to ramp up well and good. 29.8, 23.02. That is fantastic. I think that's even a little bit higher than what I'm happy with. I think I'll take that down a little bit more just to help with stability. So before we had 2170, so I might go 2180, no, 2080 on the global memory and just bring that down a little bit. But in the meantime, I might just leave it at that for now. Colon escape, colon X enter. No, if I use the right keyboard, I'm wondering why it won't work. Escape, colon X enter. Now I have to, now because I haven't committed this to memory, I need to update the miners to the latest edition of Ethos. So that command is there. So we go sudo ethos space hyphen update space, and I haven't done this enough to commit it to memory, and sleep space 5 and R, which is a reboot command, I'm assuming. Rightio, go back to that one, go transition. So I've actually typed it in here and I've forgotten a space. So sudo sudo ethos update and sleep. So we hit enter and that should stop the miner. It looks like it's doing nothing, but it'll actually bring dots up on the screen once it actually starts doing something. And having your USB stick at this point into a USB 3 port is so much faster. Whilst this is doing this, and I haven't got too many people in the room, I am going to run away and go and check my older son and see if he's okay, and then be back. For CPU mining, it's the best to mine XMR. Yes, I agree. XMR with CPU works. There's several algos for it, so setting up a multi-miner is easy to do for XMR. It absolutely is. Right, that actually should be not mining at the moment. It's not, because you can see the watts. Even though up here it's showing that it's hashing, the temperature of the fan, the temperature has gone down, and down here is 200 watts. Of course, I can't bring my mouse down to there because that's as an overlay on OBS Studio. All right, whilst that is doing that, I will let that run. I will run inside, check my son, and I will be back in a minute or so. And the owner of the rig just, is it running stable that high? I better reply to that, eh? I'll give him a call when I come back. That's pretty cool, isn't it? The hash rate. So that's about. I actually did the. I'm actually currently live on camera at the moment. I actually did the whole tuning on camera. So the whole lot will be on YouTube, tuning your rig. At the moment, it's sitting on 29.43. But I want to take that back a little bit. I'm now doing some updates, going to the latest version of Ethos, and then putting on the latest version of the miners. And then I'll check the stability again after that, because with the newer version we have problems with the core being too low. It saves power, but it actually crashes the rig, so I have to retune on 29. And my phone dropped out. My phone dropped out. Yeah, so I'm gonna go. I'm just at the moment tuning it to upgrading it to 29 point, the latest version of Ethos anyway. I want to put it around 28.9, 29 megahashes. I had it running all night at 29.1, and I lost card 1 halfway through the night. So it's still a little bit too high, but I also had the memory clock a little bit too low. So just tinkering with it. So basically, because all the other rigs are exactly the same almost, we're going to be able to transfer a lot of these settings across, which on this particular rig, we've got 50 megahashes more than what you had when I got it here. So that's almost 2 standard cards more hashing power. So that's going to bring your profitability up a lot. But this rig that I got, the silver rig, you know, I've got the silver and the orange here. Haven't looked at the orange yet. Now, I want to address the way you're rebooting the rigs, because I think what happened, it's the memory card's not faulty. I think Ethos crashed on the actual memory card. So I don't know how are you pressing the button and waiting for the rig to shut off and then turning it back on again, or you just hitting the circuit breaker? Okay. No. We don't even want to hold the button down anymore. We're going to change it. You just press the button and wait, because that'll actually shut the rig all the way down. And holding the button in might have been the cause of it failing. So we want to reduce that maintenance load. So a simple press will actually turn it off. If it's crashed, then you need to hold the power button in. But if you just want to turn it off, you just press it and then wait 5 minutes and watch the fan spill down. But the silver rig has one faulty fan on it as well. So what I want to do, I could change them around in this rig, but I think I might put all the faulty fans on the top shelf with the air conditioner. Actually just physically move a couple of the GPUs around, so they're much cooler up the top. And then we're going to have to get a big fan, put it on there. We're going to have to put a big fan on there, move it all around, and turn the fan speed down a little bit on all the cards to make the rest of the fans last, because they're just spinning their heads off at the moment. That's not good for them. Yeah, or on the other wall over near that sexy Tesla Powerwall of yours. And I only said Tesla Powerwall because I'm live on camera and I said Tesla Powerwall again. If you want to have a look at this live stream, just go to BatteryHasher on YouTube, and that'll be me. It's all one word. Okay, cool. Radio. That's all I needed you for. I can go back to my clients now. Oh, now it's doing a nice steady 29.41, 29.42, 29.42, 29.4, 29.43, and 29.43 megahashes. Holy shit. 176.5 megahashes for the entire rig. And and then we've got we had 125.6 as a starting point. So if we can get that across all your rigs, man, you're gonna that's gonna make an extra $4 a day per rig. So that is gonna get your money back pretty quick. Okay, when can I finish the rest of the rigs? Because I looked just before at your rigs and you've got another 2 that have crashed. How far away from the office are you, and do you want to do it over the weekend? Oh, mate, I've got kids, that's not a problem. No, it's not. No, it's not hard, come on. No, but I don't like seeing rigs down. I don't want to work all weekend either, but if I can bring them back online and get some decent settings into them. Yeah, I guess I could. Do you want me to fix that so you have? I can do that as well. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. The DVR set. Oh, okay. Oh, no, I guess I can't fix that. Okay. Well, actually, there's no use running down there now because I can only do 2 rigs at a time, and I still haven't even looked at the second rig yet because that's got more problems. Absolutely, and that way we can get some of these things hashing and making you some coin again. So what's it? There's 5 5-card rigs and 1 6-card rig, isn't there? A 7 8-card rig. 1 2 3. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, leave it with me. I will give you a call when I'm at the next step. If you have a look at that text message that I sent you with the photograph, you've got the http e419a7.ethdistro.com as a URL. You can type that into your phone or your PC and you can watch this rig running live. No worries. Okay. Yep. Well, you can sit. Oh, I'm going to probably stop the live feed in a second because I've only got 10 people in the room because I'm on my second channel, not my main channel. And then, yeah, I'll chat to you later. Awesome. Cheers, man. See ya. Bye. Rightio, he's a happy chappy. I don't know if I am still live or not. I reckon I probably am. Transition. And I am very happy with the results of this. It is hashing awesome. I'm going to leave it sit there. I'm going to put a fan on it to cool it down because I've got a 66-degree card there and I do not like that. We're going to call this one a live stream and going to call that one a successfully repaired and tuned rig. Thank you very much for tuning in. That was the owner of the rig and he sounds happy. And I've got a few more to do. I've got this one to do next. This one's not turning on at all. So, and I'm willing to bet that has got a bad BIOS. So tubers, thank you for tuning in. If you can watch this again, you'll learn something more from it. It'll help me get my hours up. That would be fantastic. And I will look at the chat now because I just see I missed a few. Yep, you are. Wife just got a random call from Madagascar. Fun, fun, fun. Was it from a unique animal? How long does your rig take to mine one XMR? A long time. I haven't mined one XMR yet. I had, at one stage I had 20 cards mining XMR and I didn't even get 0.1 in a couple of days. It takes a while. Do you have a motherboard? Yeah, have a look below. The motherboard that I recommend is below that I've tuned a lot of, and you can get 8 cards. You can get 8 cards on it if you use the M.2 slots. You get the little adapters. It will take more than several days to get one XMR. How long does it? Oh, Paul, you asked that twice. 3 times. It takes a while to do the coins. It really does. Oh no, look at that. In the time that I've been talking, we've lost card 1. I'm still mining Bitcoin. I stopped mining Bitcoin. It's cheaper. It's cheaper for me to mine Ethereum and buy Bitcoin. I think if I mine Ethereum for 1 week, I can buy 30,000 Bitcoin. So it's not even worth doing. Okay, so we've lost a card already. So we're going to have to go to local config. We're going to have to turn this down a little bit. So 21, what did we have it last night? 70. We might have to go, we might take this down a lot. So 080, and I didn't hit it twice. And I think that might even be too high. We might go 60. So that's a good reduction. And then we'll get that card back on. That's going to take it back to 28.5, I think. Mega hashes. Wow, I really wasn't done with this. I have old hardware, just recently got into it. 0.01 XMR. It's old hardware. Paul Anthony, I mine Ethereum because it's the most profitable. I can get the most amount of money per watts per day than any other coin. And if I want to buy other coins, I just simply use that money and go and buy it. I think it takes me to do Bitcoin. I think I get about 300 Bitcoin every day. But I can buy like 20 or 30,000 Bitcoin if I mine for an entire week on Ethereum and just spend the money on it. So, rightio, is that rebooting? It is. That old PC has been mining with ancient hardware so far up to 5,000 Bitcoin. So it's about 20 pounds. But I guess if you got free power and it's not using, and you haven't spent any money on hardware, it's brilliant. If you 5,000 Bitcoin in 10 years' time could be worth 100,000 bucks. It could be worth nothing too. Okay, battery hashers and tubers alike, I'm going to call this one a live feed. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to have to start doing some big tests on this one to work out whether it's going to be good or not. You can whatever you want with that other thing, because I'm just going to delete it and not use it. And I'm going to seize on the next one live feed. Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's been fun and my throat hurts. I'm out of here. Thank you very much for Koshan for being here. Chris Chester, Paul, Lee, and not too many others, unfortunately. But you don't expect too many because this is like something different. 14 viewers. I do appreciate it. Well, we maxed out at 14 when I'm leaving. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. I'm actually signing out this time. Save changes. Rightio. That no longer exists. Coin config maker is gone. Why it's saying 0 messages per minute? Probably because it's over the time. Refresh, and I still haven't hit. Prize Pete, thanks for the mod. Bye. See you later. I'm out of here. Right, I'm actually hitting stop streaming in 3, 2,